Martin's question.
Yeah. Pilot, the pilots, right?
Yep.
Yep. Go ahead. I
Yep.
don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about pilot. I
Okay.
just, I'd see what goes on.
Question. We're just getting the live stream going and we are live, so you're on camera. Except for Betty and Carlene. They're not on camera. All right. So Martin's question was, what is Copilot? Well, you were calling it pilot, but it's actually
Oh,
Copilot.
pilot, yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
And Copilot is the Microsoft AI, Microsoft version of AI, artificial
Ah,
intelligence.
okay.
And you first saw it where?
On my cell phone, all right?
Okay.
And all of a sudden it popped up, probably one of those automatic upgrades to the phone.
Yep.
So I guess it appeared overnight and I turned,
Okay.
and there it was. So I don't know anything about it though. That's
Okay. So when it shows up, what do you mean? Like you turned on your phone and you looked at it and what happened? Oh, good. You're
nothing.
going to show us.
As I say, it just popped up on my phone. And I don't know, I'm not getting a good
If
picture
you
here.
put it in front of your face a little bit more, I think, okay, now tilt it down. Oop, now it all disappeared.
Yeah, definitely.
It's because you've got that background.
Well,
Um,
anyway, it's let's see. I don't know. I can't get it. It's here somewhere. But
okay.
but
So it's
anyway,
showing up as like an icon like
yeah,
this.
yeah, that's correct. It's like a square with a multicolored red and blue
Okay.
ribbon.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So that's interesting that it installed as an icon. Um I kind of like that better with my phone, and we're going to compare the two because it'll be easy that way. Um I have a Google Pixel phone, and so the Gemini is the new assistant for Google,
Uh-huh.
assistant aka AI.
Ah,
Google's always been running AI in various versions. Even if you just look at how it corrects my language in texting,
all right,
it or predictive languaging with my texting. But
right.
with Copilot, what we're going to do is I'm going to open it. So we're going to share the screen, and there's Copilot, and here we go. So make
Okay.
that smaller and move this around. Um, let's see here. We got to move it so you can't see it. All right. So you can see the little green screen. It says, "Good morning, Betsy. What can I help you with
Yes.
today?"
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so this is an AI program where I would specifically go to for a reason. So mostly I use it to create clip art, and I can go to, clip art and just find clip art. But what I really like about it is I can find something that's much more specific to what I'm looking for versus looking just for some clip art. So my Copilot knows that I'm always doing images, right? Because that's what it prompted with. Brainstorm, create starting with an image if you'd like. And so pick an im style and tell me what you're imagining. Or I can ask anything. So and quick response is something new here. Best for everyday conversation, 2 to 3 seconds. Think deeper, better for more complex topics, deep research, and smart. Use
Wow.
GPT-5 to think quickly or deeply, and that's brand new. I'm not familiar with that one. That's one that's brand new. So what we're going to do is I would love to have somebody else give me a question. Any question at all?
Mm.
Let me think.
Can I get my picture back
Can I get my picture back? Okay.
on Zoom?
Oh, okay. Okay. So how do I get my camera to work in Zoom? And then I hit enter. And let's get your camera working. Here's a step-by-step guide to troubleshoot. Make sure it's connected if it's external and powered on. Close apps that might be using the camera. Oh, now see, this is useful information. So if you use other things that use the camera, then you would want to close those. So if you're, and I'm not just talking to Betty, but to everybody, if you're using multiple applications, oftentimes something is not going to push through a different one. So if you, for instance, I don't know who Skypes anymore, but if you were Skyping or if you were you know, FaceTiming and you still had that open on your computer, that might be using your camera and not allowing Zoom to use your camera. Because oftentimes you can't have two apps using the camera. It wouldn't make any sense for it to work. Second one is restart Zoom to refresh its access to your camera. And then here's the one that we usually go to, which is open Zoom, go to video. Under camera, make sure that the correct device is listed. If you don't see it, that means that Zoom might not have permission, which is what I think we went through before, was to go through permissions. With your camera settings, there's how you go through Windows, test your camera. And the reason why it's telling me how to do it through Windows is because I'm on a Windows-based computer. If I were on a MacBook, it would give me the answer for how to do this through Mac, right? And then test your camera, update and reinstall. If that none of that worked, make sure that your Zoom is up to date. Or you can try reinstalling Zoom from Zoom's official site rather than doing it from your if your Play Store using Google or your App Store in Microsoft or apps in Apple. So there was an answer to a very simple question, right? How do I get my camera to work in Zoom? That was totally AI generated. All right, now I am going to go to Gemini. I'm sorry. Yeah, Gemini. All right, and we are going to share that. I have open Gemini here. So this is same type of program, different company. How do I get my camera, oops, spell it right,
Betsy,
to work?
Betsy, just a
Zoom.
moment. All I have
Yep.
is Zoom, a blank screen with Zoom on it. I don't have anything else.
Okay, say that again.
All I have is a blank screen with the letter Zoom, the letter Zoom on it. I don't,
Okay, are you on a what kind of computer are you on?
HP.
Okay, so look down at the bottom of your computer, and there
Yeah.
should be some icons, and one of them should say ZM, and it's in a blue circle.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Click that.
Yeah, all right. Now I'm back. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. You never went anywhere. You just clicked on something.
All right.
All right. Did you miss that whole thing, what I did with Pilot, with Copilot?
Oh, no, I got the pilot thing. When you got
Okay, you got that. Okay.
Gemini,
Okay.
that's when I got disconnected there somehow. But now I'm back.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we're looking at the same question in Gemini. Let's see how the question works out. Same
Okay.
question. All right, getting your camera to work on Zoom can be tricky. Common solutions, check the basics. Make sure video's turned on, select the correct camera, test your video in settings, check your camera or device, camera permissions, very common issue. Whichever system you're using has privacy settings that might be blocking Zoom. Now, notice here there is a link to those little tiny icons there. These are links, and if I hover over them, it's going to tell me where it's going to take me. So this is going to take me to an article by Crisp. Here's an article by Noda, Nearity. So anyway, so this is they're giving basically the reference to this information they're giving.
Okay.
Close all other apps, make sure Skype or web browser tabs aren't running the camera. Check for a physical switch or cover. Ah, interesting. Copilot missed that one. That was one problem that somebody had had in the past where there was actually a cover over a privacy cover over their camera on their computer. And then update on Zoom, update your camera drivers. Interesting. Copilot didn't say that. Restart your device when all else fails, and reinstall Zoom. So similar information covered in a slightly different order. And honestly, I'm going to say that while I learned some things from Copilot, Gemini came up with some solutions that Copilot didn't. There was a couple things mentioned that Copilot didn't. So, two AI programs owned by different companies. AI is going to do the same thing. AI is going to go find information for you, slightly different than if you're just doing a web search, right? So now we're going to do something, let's see, entirely different. I'm going to go back to share, and we'll just pick the browser, and we're going to go to a new tab. So now I'm just going to do a basic Google search, and I'm going to say, how do I get my camera to work in Zoom? And it's going to open up a Google search page, and it shows me right off the bat, here's the AI overview. Okay. And I can show more. So Google now starts with answering your question with AI, and it goes right back to here's your little links. And interestingly, here the links don't pop up when I hover over them, but they're over here. So any link here is going to be listed on the side here. So as I scroll down, it's going to tell me basically the same kinds of things. Now, I'm going to open up a different browser because my computer is a Microsoft product. I'm going to open up Microsoft Bing, and I'm going to ask the same question. Work on Zoom. And let's see what it does. Please solve the challenge below to continue. What? Okay, that's interesting. Because I don't ever use Bing to do searches, so it's kind of identifying, who is this? Notice, Martin, up in the corner, there's
Yeah.
that little icon, right?
Okay.
Oh, solve the challenge below. Verify you're a human. There you go. I don't
Uh.
know why it needed to know I was a human, but so here's Bing, which is Microsoft,
Right.
and how does it handle the question in its basic search engine? So this says it is a Copilot search. So it's saying that that's what pulled it up. And how do you turn on your camera? And it's going to give you a bunch of videos there. So all of this are videos. If you are more inclined to learn through video rather than reading, that's there. And then we scroll down a little bit, and it's interesting. It looks very similar to the setup with Google, where it answers the question, tells you what to do, and then says read more. So you click the read more, scroll down. Looks just like the other one, telling you the same kind of information. So what's the benefit to using Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT or any of the other 100 new AI companions? What would be the benefit to doing that versus just doing a basic search? If I do a basic search, let's try an entirely different question. So I'll go back to the browser, and we'll do it as a Google search first. So we're going to go back to Bing, and I'm going to not ask that question. I'm going to say, show me a picture of an armadillo. In Great Smoky, in the Smoky Mountains. Okay, so showed me a bunch of armadillos. I don't know whether or not these are in the Great Smoky Mountains, but it also came up with Smoky Mountain News, armadillos make a home in the Smokies. So it went to pictures and then it also went to an article.
Amazing.
And the reason why I asked that question is because I just read that article this morning. So
All right,
this
is where they got it from.
here is Visit My Smokies. First armadillos spotted in Smoky Mountain National Park. Now you've got videos. Armadillos make a home. This is in Knoxville News. Mystics in the Smokies. So a whole bunch of articles about armadillos who belong in Texas, not in the mountains. And there they are, cute little armadillos. That, by the way, is not an armadillo. Just, I think that's hilarious that it threw that in there. And that is part of, now it does link to an article about it, but my question was, show me a picture. And it shows me this little guy, and I just think that's funny. For those of you who don't have them, that's a groundhog, also known in old-timey vernacular as whistle pigs. I don't know why. I think they whistle to each other when they're signaling. I've never heard them make a sound. Anyway, so I can look, and that's all. I can do a search, which I thought I just did. I can do images, videos, maps, all of these things. So let's just see for ha-has, what happens when I say, show me a picture. It's going to show me the Great Smoky Mountains. It's not going to show me where armadillos were spotted. It's just going to show me a map of the Great Smoky Mountains. So let me close this one, go back to the original. Let's just see what happens when I do search for that. And basically the same thing, but it is a Copilot search, which it was before. So I'm not quite sure what the advantage. Same pictures. And this time it did not give me any articles. All it gave me was the pictures because I said, give me a picture. But I also have an option to see all links. And then down below here, if I move this little thingy, it says, other questions about it, armadillo behavior, whatever, I can ask a follow-up question. So notice I am now in Copilot AI right here. Ask a follow-up question. Are armadillos invasive? Yeah, I
Betsy,
didn't. Yeah,
is there any time not to use Copilot?
yes. We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
All right. Interesting. Armadillos are not considered invasive. They have naturally expanded their range in the area and were not introduced by humans. Their ecological impact is being studied. Native to South and Central America. First appeared in the park in 2019. Holy smokes. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So, experts caution against labeling invasive because they spread on their own.
No predators, right?
They dig holes, you know. They cause damage similar to the European hogs, which we have wild hogs, which are pretty damaging. Could compete with spotted skunks for resources. Yeah, they're really good at diggers. They're really good diggers. So, Medina.
Okay, when I look for something, do a search on my phone, it automatically, the first response automatically is AI generated. So
That is how it works now.
why would you even have to go to Copilot or Gemini or any of those other things?
Exactly. That's a really, really good question. When you want to do something other than a basic search, the reason why I did a simple search question in both was to compare the two products.
Right,
First of
right.
all. But then if I go to, and that's a really good question. Like I said, when I go to Copilot and I go to Copilot for pictures rather than going to Gemini for pictures, because Gemini has tighter controls. Now, when we think about AI for a minute, you know, one of the dangers of AI is the fact that there are, oh, that's funny. Betty's here in the beach but still not her face, unless you walked away. Are you there, Betty?
I'm here. I just can't get my picture up. That's just the video background.
Okay, well, that's nice. It's calming, soothing. Sorry, I got distracted by the beach there.
Yeah, well,
No, it's good though. Leave it. So if I'm going to, well, I'll do a demonstration, but when we see fake things, fake, as with anything, you can create something that does damage or creates joy. It's based on you, right? It depends on the user, not on the product itself. So when I have tried to create something, for instance, in the Google search Gemini in the AI picture creator, I was trying to create, I've many times have tried to create a picture that has multi-ages, multiracial people in the group shot. And it resists me. It identifies that as being racist by putting multi-races in,
Yeah, what do you know?
which is interesting to me. Yeah, it is very interesting to me.
Huh.
I can ask the same question and Copilot goes, sure, here you go. So it just makes me pause a little bit and wonder, you know, and realize that when we are looking at some of the other companies, if you have the free version, you get the free version of things. If you pay for it, as many of the fake things that you see are paid versions, that means that you are going to have endless supply of choices on whatever fake images you want to create. And so, again, use them for good or bad, but know that when fake things are happening that you're exposed to, they're paid versions. And they're not something that those of us who are not paying for can create. So, as an example, let's go to I'm
So
gonna
if
go to,
you, excuse me a minute, but if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you I had attended a seminar
yes,
where this woman in less than 15 seconds created Holocaust distortion.
right.
And it looked so authentic, I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there are certain websites. I think this one was called Wall E.
Uh-huh.
Wall E.
Mm-hmm. Um, let's go there. Let's just go there.
Ooh, okay.
All right, so I'm going to let me move this out of the way. All right, I'm going to get out of Bing for a minute. I'm going to go just to Google. And I don't remember how to spell it.
I think it's WALL dash capital E.
Wall-E. There we
There
go.
it is.
Okay, so Wall-E was a film, if you all remember. I believe it was Pixar or Disney. It was a very cute film.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
I'm thinking maybe it's not spelled that way,
Yeah.
but I've seen it.
I'm gonna look it up just a minute.
Okay, you do that. You look that up, and I'm going to go to Gemini, and I'm going to ask Gemini for an image. And this is new on the bottom here. On Gemini, it says deep research, Canvas, create docs and apps. Image, obviously, what I'm going to do, or guided learning, learn and understand topics. So that's an interesting way to break those up. And I'm going to ask for create a photo realistic image of a multi-racial family. And we'll see what happens. Okay, image generation of people is coming soon to Gemini
Oh.
Advanced.
Ah,
So
right.
it won't even do it.
Right.
It did it initially when it first was released and it was in testing stage. It did do it initially,
Huh.
but then it stopped doing images, and the message that I kept getting about it was that I shouldn't be looking for that. Did you find it,
Really?
Medina?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. It's DALL-E,
Dolly. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
DALL dash
Yep.
capital E.
All right. So let's see. Go back.
Image
Okay.
generator.
Okay. So creating images from text. Now there's several here. There's DALL-E 2, which is OpenAI. So OpenAI is was one of the original. So that's where it came from. Was OpenAI was the original
There's a
AI.
DALL-E image generator.
Yeah,
I
go
saw
back.
that. I saw that.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the wiki one first, just to look at it because there are so many choices there, and this explains what they are. Developed by OpenAI to generate images from natural language, from prompts. So an image prompt generated right there. Teddy bears working on new research underwater with 1990s technology.
Very cute.
You know, so eh, again, what Medina, what you had seen in that class
Yeah.
was very disturbing and is an excellent way to show how it can be used for bad, right?
Right, right.
These teddy bears, pretty innocuous, pretty cute, got a giggle from some of us. All
Yeah.
right, let's see, creating images from text. And I haven't used DALL-E before, so let's just see. So I'm going to say, oh, this is an article. Huh.
Hmm.
Listen to the article. And so there's a lot of information about how it works and all of that. It's not giving me an opportunity to do it.
Yeah,
It's explaining how it does it.
yeah.
So I'm thinking that it's probably an app I have to download. I can't just do it. I'm just looking. There's all the references.
Well,
Research safety.
if you go back to that search page, there was, as you scroll down a little bit more, there was a DALL-E free, and it came from DALL-E.
Okay. Now, isn't this the icon for ChatGPT though?
I think so.
Anybody who's got Apple has
Yeah, it has
ChatGPT on theirs. Yeah.
like a four-leaf clover, but with circles in it.
It's not this?
I don't remember.
I don't see
Okay,
it.
ChatGPT, let's see. There's more information about that. All right.
It
Let's
is exactly that, Bets.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought.
Mine is triangles, multi-link triangles. When
Yeah,
I looked on my phone,
ChatGPT, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Okay.
You said if I scroll down
Go
further,
down,
free
see
image.
DALL-E free.
There we go. Okay. So create a photo realistic image of a multiracial family. And it wants me to sign in to my account. I don't have an account, so I can sign up for it. Sure, why not? Why not? Let's just see what happens. We'll create a password, use the strong password, register, verify OPT. All right, we sent an email. Got to verify that in the inbox there is my DALL-E. Now, Google said, show images. Google said report spam if this is not right. All right, here's my verification code. This is Two-factor authentication right here, folks. This is, and then
Wow.
it says, what's my verification code? There it is. Hit continue.
What does OTP mean?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Great heart. There we go. Password, and it saved it for me. Notice I didn't have to memorize, write that down, or do anything. And now I am in DALL-E. Okay, and I said create. It kept my question, which is interesting after all of that. And notice it did not take me very long at all to set up an account, create a password, save the password, get my two-factor authentication, and log in.
Yeah.
Generate. Let's see what it does. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
That doesn't really look multiracial.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and I don't know why it's not let it move this way. Move
Does
this
it?
way.
There's a
Maybe-
teddy bear.
Maybe
I
you
know,
need-
right?
Maybe
I
you need
can't-
to- maybe you
I
need to
can't get rid
type-
of this.
The teddy bear is Caucasian.
Uh-huh.
maybe you need to type interracial.
Interracial. Okay. All right. Interesting. I
Okay.
cannot get rid of this thing here. This, I believe, indicates there's a paid version available. Let's see what happens
Oh.
when I, purchase a subscription. So start creating today for free. What's it cost? $15 a month, $10 a month. Oh, these have watermarks. So I'm already subscribed, but they're all going to have a watermark showing that it was created by DALL-E. All right. And I have some options of what I can do of style.
Watermark.
Yeah.
So you can't use it.
So it has
Well, I
a-
can use it. I believe I can use it. All right, so let's do that again. Create a realistic image of, interesting that it got rid of my question when I went to look, of
Yeah.
an interracial family. And generate.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And it's not as helpful to me here because, it's got my prompt here. I can't move this prompt thing away. If I click on the image, okay, now I was able to open it without it. I can change the size, I can edit it, I can download it. So while it will have a watermark, I can download it and share it.
What do you mean by a watermark?
All right, so I'm not
So look
seeing
up
it
an
here,
answer.
but let me download it and then we'll look. All right, so I have to stop the share here, go back in and share. Let me open up my
That might mean
folders
like,
first.
those watermarks that are on American currency to indicate that it's
Yeah, a
legitimate.
watermark, it has like, it says image across it in sort of a white or off-white.
Or doesn't it sometimes say proof, like if it's a photographer and they
Mhm.
send you all the pictures and it'll say proof that you can't get off?
They're different.
I'll
They're all different. I don't see a watermark on this. Can you see the picture I'm looking at?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So when I blow it up big, let me move this
I don't do
over.
big.
Generally speaking, what there is there's going to be an image. I mean, yes, with photographers, it'll go straight across the whole picture and it'll say proof or whatever. Sometimes a watermark will just be down here in the corner saying that it was created by DALL-E, or it'd have the ChatGPT image right
Oh.
here, the little icon.
I don't think we're seeing what you're looking at. We have
Kind
it says downloads and it's got several.
Okay. Thanks, Zoom. Let's try it again. I love that I have to go in and out if I'm going to look at a different window. Okay, here it is. Now you're seeing the family, right?
Not yet.
Didn't add anything.
Not yet. It still says Joy.
there.
There it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
okay.
We did see it. It just took a little time.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Now you should be able to see it.
There it is.
Okay. Interesting. It's taking time. So, I'm not seeing a watermark on this. So kind of interesting. Because it said it would have a watermark, but it doesn't.
I think there was an arrow going to the right to see more images, but now I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more images on my computer. We're looking in my download right now.
Okay.
And interesting when we look up at the top, there's Copilot again asking a question while I'm within my photo editor. Browse photos and videos. This one is edit with Designer. Create a video with it, or well, that's OneDrive. All right, I'm just going to see what Designer is going to let me do. So far nothing. Okay, there it goes. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Betsy,
Yeah.
is there a difference between Copilot and ChatGPT?
Yes. They're different companies.
But it's the same thing, AI, it helps you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. Yep. Good question. So I can scroll and look and see different filters, upscale. So let's see ColourPop. Well, that didn't do anything. Let's go back to visuals, generate your own. Okay, so now all of a sudden I'm able to generate my own in here without, ice cream photos. All right, let's just see what happens. Okay, so it's going to superimpose something over transparency. Let's make it somewhat, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but I can see how I could have some fun playing with creating images, layering things, that kind of thing. So this is a really way more than Martin wanted, I know. But it's worth diving into. It's worth diving into to understand. Terry.
I did an image for a birthday for Janice Gibson, one of the ukulele players.
Yeah.
And I had a little dog, and I did chat GPS, and I thought it was so cute. I put a little birthday hat on the dog and looked at it, cute, put it on her birthday. I started getting messages. This is on Facebook. I started getting messages. Who is that dog? It's not my dog. But how come my teeth are so white? And I looked at it again, and it had made from my picture. I put the picture I had on there, and it really had. I didn't see it. It had changed. Like it made Janice's teeth really white, and sort of the background a little different, and the dog was like a whiter, cleaner dog that she. It was very strange. I don't have it to show you, but I will send it to you because it was so strange. As I said, and something I really didn't notice. I only noticed the first time the hat was like in the air instead of on the dog's head, so I changed it. But it was
Interesting. Interesting.
But it was tried to make the picture better, or
Uh-huh.
that was ChatGPT.
Interesting. Okay. So, and here's the other thing that I really want us to understand, and I don't have a solution for it because as you saw, when we go to any search engine, it's automatically giving the AI generated version first. How many people know what data centers are? Okay. Data centers are where this stuff is created. They are large, crazy large places where the actual computing happens. So the computing is not happening on our little computers. They are happening at data centers. Let me pull up a data center. Let's see, we're done with DALL-E. On this is a I believe let's see, there was a picture of one. Covington News data centers. Give me just a second, because we weren't going here, but we're going here now. This is a metadata center. Meta as in Facebook. This will make Medina happy. All right. So in a little tiny town outside of Atlanta, Covington, Georgia, there is a data center. And you can see this enormous building. In comparison, there's it's hard to see in this picture, but there's a vehicle right there. See how tiny the vehicle is compared to this data center. So it's quite large. There are other pictures of the data center itself. There we go. This is one half of it. And there's a vehicle. You can see this picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So data centers are large facilities where the actual computing happens. This happens to be a Meta one. Amazon is also proposing to build a data center within this little area here. And here's the problem. Their taps ran dry when Meta built next door. What tech giants are doing is they need enormous amounts of water to keep these machines cool. And what they do is they tap into the water table, and they have essentially created a situation where these people don't have water now because this data center has taken the water. There are many instances of this happening. There are many places around the world where this is becoming a huge problem. And that little search that I just did, all of the little examples that I just did, uses an enormous amount of water every time I do a search like that. So you think, oh gosh, what am I going to do? Stop searching? We're so dependent on this stuff. And that's why I'm saying I don't know what the actual answer to this is. I will tell you that there's, for instance, in the UK, where they are doing they're having a horrible heat wave right now. Here's another article that I found on the topic, and it was like, oh boy, really? Okay, wow, this was an eye-opener to me. The UK in this heat wave, this just came out August 12th, so this was yesterday, asking people to delete emails in order to save water during the drought. And I went, well, wait a minute. And it says leaders suggest people get rid of old data to reduce the stress on data centers. I had no idea. So going a little bit more, it's talking about how hot it is and the problem that they're having in the UK. But what it's saying is they're giving tips, the standard tips on, collecting rainwater for gardening, fixing leaks and things like that, taking shorter showers. But then it says delete old emails and pictures because it requires vast amounts of water to cool these systems, which are actually storing our data. They suck up, and yeah, I know. The hotter it is, the more water data centers use. And so it spikes the water use. Old emails lingering in cloud servers are a drop in the bucket compared to processing generative AI requests. So while, getting rid of our emails and our photos and our videos that we don't need stored is very useful, AI requests create an even bigger problem. It says that 60 queries of an AI system consume about a liter of water.
Jeez.
So 60 searches on AI, because AI does more work, going through an enormous amount of data to find that. Or the 250 million queries generated in the US every day is the size of an Olympic swimming pool every day. Data centers will consume 1.7 trillion gallons of water every year by 2027. Sam Altman from OpenAI disputes this, saying it uses a 15th of a teaspoon of water. But, I don't think that you could tell those people in Covington, Georgia that. I'm pretty sure that these folks whose water, ran dry, and there's a picture of what was coming out of their tap was this.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they're having to buy water because they can't use the water that's coming out of the tap. So, anyway, so that's an issue that, right now, because we like our information and we're rather dependent on it. And us probably less so than younger people. But also, businesses. Think about the number of queries that get raised every day by businesses doing business. We're just so very, very dependent on it, and that's a lot of water. So I'm being more mindful of my searches in just doing, any kind of research. And not creating pictures. I'm gonna go out and shoot some B-roll, and I'm still working on deleting stuff that I don't need. Just something to kind of put on our radar in terms of what we're doing with technology. And it goes back to the example that Medina had given us a month or so ago about those false images being created, and being a problem.
They have the same thing with electricity too.
Yes.
Electricity is a big problem.
Yeah. And, one of the problems with living in highly populated areas, not going to be an issue. Data centers are going to go to rural areas because they need an enormous amount of space. And so that means that rural folk are going to be affected. They're also very noisy. One would think that computing wouldn't make a lot of noise, but data centers are very noisy. And so, if you live in a rural area or like to go visit rural areas because you like the Smoky Mountains and you like how pretty it is and how calming and all of that, and if you've got a data center next door, that's going to change that whole situation. Terry, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just really quickly, that OTP is to make a choice or decision, often in favor of a particular course of action. It can also be a noun referring to the choice itself. When you asked before about what OPT was?
Yeah, what it was giving me though, the choice was to put in the security code. So that's a strange, I still don't understand it.
And
Well, was it OPT or OTP? I don't remember.
I don't know.
okay, well, I looked it up out of curiosity. And the other thing that
OTP.
okay,
Otherwise,
so-
it's OPT, which is opt, like an option.
Oh,
Never
right,
mind.
right. OT.
Do the research again and look up OTP. Tell me what that means.
Okay, I have just one other thing. I tend to use the Meta AI in Facebook posts because sometimes I'm too wordy or I want to make it. I tend to use it a lot, and it's interesting. It doesn't really get to know me, which some other things do. Like it's a happy birthday to Betsy and from all of us at Joyce. And
It's a machine.
best wishes on this day, or something that's very, I found that interesting. It gives you these maybe like a Hallmark card kind of thing as opposed to something, right? And then you can make it funny. And sometimes it's just bad or anything like that. But that I understand, but I've used it, 100 times and it doesn't seem to get to know what you like. So I wondered about that.
It may be in the programming itself. If you're using the Meta one, it's not programmed to recognize you. It is my guess, because I don't use it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
it learned to put joy as capitals, like and things like that, but it, you know, it won't change that, but it will. I don't know. I just find that interesting. I thought it would learn.
mhm, mhm.
It's not.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I use Google products for every creation that I'm doing. So if I'm writing a document, it will do some
Yeah,
predictive writing for me. Um, Usually like finish the sentence, you know,
yeah.
but it's for the most part, it's just common English, you know, and it's really tends to work more on my phone than anywhere else. So if I'm going to start a chat, I'm going to send you one, and I'm going to say good morning. Now, because I often am texting Scott, it's gonna the next words after good morning, it's in the suggestion, the highlighted one, my,
Yeah.
and then it gives me what I'm going to send to him, which is my love. So it's a little annoying when I'm not sending it to Scott. The other options are my dear and my beautiful. So if I take out that, I'm just going to say good morning, how, and then I just write how, and it starts with how are you? How was? And so while it's not writing it out for me, and then when I clicked on that, it's going to say doing today, or how are you feeling, or how are you doing? So, you know, that is predictive based on my use, with Google, but not as much when I'm creating a document. Um, it may try and finish some sentences and documents, but not nearly as much as when I'm texting. So the program that you're using is going to give you different results based on how it was created and the intent it was created for. And I'm thinking probably Meta wasn't trained, because while Amy said they are machines that can be trained to produce results. And they're trained by the massive amounts of information that they're given. As an example, this morning in the news, it said that Perplexity has made an offer to buy Google Search. Google's struggling with some lawsuits and breaking up the monopoly of that. Google search is so pervasive that it's a noun, you know, Google that, you know. So the courts are trying to figure out how to make Google pay for being a monopoly in the information sector. And so this other company, a guy who originally worked for OpenAI, which then created ChatGPT, created a tech company called Perplexity, and that is an AI company. And their AI company, what they're have done, they're dealing with lawsuits, Perplexity is, because they have done what is called crawling, where their program is designed to crawl through the web and create information based on its learning of crawling through the web. So when it's crawling, and you know, it's just like you and I doing any kind of research online, except it has a massive brain and it can retain all of it, which is why those data centers have to be so large, because you have to have a lot of information going through. And so why Perplexity is being sued is because they have used proprietary information from a variety of places when they were given orders to cease and desist for taking proprietary information. So, for instance, one of the companies is New York Times. New York Times, if you want their information, you have to pay for it. There's a limited amount that you can get for free. But if you have a subscription, you get more information. Well, when Perplexity crawled through the web, it pulled information, and I don't know how, but it pulled information from New York Times, and the New York Times said, stop, you have to pay to get this information from us. We did the work to create these articles and this research and this information, you have to pay. And Perplexity didn't. And Perplexity kept taking information from New York Times, among other sources. And so there's a lot of very complicated legal issues that also have to do with AI. And we're in a brand new world in terms of figuring out how all of this stuff works and what we're going to do about it and how it interacts with us. And it's bigger than just if I look at my phone and ask for a picture of a squirrel driving a sports car, you know, it's much more complicated issue that's going to be affecting us in for years to come. Terry.
One-time password, OTP.
There we go. Thank you.
It's making me crazy because I just saw it the other day and I put the wrong.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. We were also going to cover current threats. So I'm going to very quickly share because we have like 3 minutes left. Martin, you're going to have to go. I know how you are.
You're right. I gotta meet my pals for breakfast. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Enjoy,
Bye,
enjoy,
Martin.
enjoy.
Have a good one.
All right, so let's see. We're going to share here, and I'm going to share this article on data centers with you, but I'm also going to very quickly talk about several articles that came. Innocent text is probably a scam. This is looks like, you know, hey, hello, whatever. So we get these. We get a lot of these. I'm going to send you this because this is important. Again, you guys know, but I want you to be reminded. Next one is an Apple patch. I love the little graphic here. So multiple vulnerabilities in iOS and iPad. This came out July 30th, so it's 2 weeks old. You should have already updated all of your Apple stuff, but if you haven't, do so. There's a similar one, and I don't remember where it is, on Android. Here it is. Android has same kind of thing, a little patch there. Android vulnerabilities. Make sure you update. So I'm going to send you this one. Next one, here's that article on Perplexity stealing information. And this one is about the scams with the DMV and tolls and things like that. So here's the DMV scam text. The number one thing to remember, no DMV in any state is going to text you. Okay, so if you get a text from that, take a screenshot of it, delete it, and then share it with people who don't know that these things are fake. And here's what to do if you receive a text claiming to be from. And what I also like is it reminds you to report it. And if you don't have a reporting system on your phone, you can always forward it to 7726, which is spelling out spam, and then delete the text. So those are just a couple of articles that I'm going to send you this week to stay updated on what's the latest. What should we talk about next week?
Cleaning out pictures. We already did that.
Again.
Yeah, we already did that.
Next week, I won't speak, and we will all sit here with our phones and our computers and just delete, delete, delete.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because you've already carved out the time. You don't need to listen to me talk about it. Let's just do
Great
it.
idea. Thank you, Betsy.
Betsy,
Yeah.
I have tomorrow I get my new Google Pixel 9a, which only cost me $290 because apparently the Google Pixel 6 had a battery issue and I got $150 off. And so
I'm
tomorrow-
jealous. I'm
Yeah.
jealous because I have a 6. My battery's
Oh,
still
you do?
working, but maybe I can
Ah.
upgrade. That'd be
you
awesome.
didn't get an email about it, huh?
No.
Because my battery swole up and took it and that's why I got a new phone because the guy didn't want to take it out because he had bad experience taking batteries out, swollen batteries. So I got
Yeah.
a different phone, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely not that happy with my Samsung Galaxy. It's just clunky. It's anyway, so tomorrow. Yes.
Awesome. Have fun.
Yes, I will. Thanks.
It's
Okay.
fun and it's annoying.
Yeah,
It's
that's
both.
true.
It's both. But it's much easier these days for all of the information to just go. It
So
works.
yeah, it's all about the internet, right? I can transfer it myself. I don't have to
Yep.
have somebody tech
Nope.
savvy to do that. Okay,
Correct.
great.
You got the
Okay.
skills.
Yes, I got this. Okay.